Welcome back, everybody. It's the Aces NFL show, Week 8 review, Sip. It's the Week 8 review, and there's plenty to talk about. I think we've got to start off with the big slop-oss running down the street of Hoddle Street, because Bijan Robinson put up 20 yards against the 31st worst run defense in the league. Don't worry, mate. It cost me a stack. It was my last leg. I just needed a tutty. It was embarrassing. Their defense stunk. They're at home. Miami's lit them up. No Waller. I mean, they're missing a few others as well. They've got no Tyreek Hill out there, as we all know. And Waddle and Tua and A-Chain just lit them up. I mean, I'll start with their defense. 3rd and 10, and they somehow, A-Chain gets a rush and goes for 15 yards every time. What are they doing? Normally, Raheem Morris has got that defense slick.
They were the number one defense 2 weeks ago, and they look like the worst defense over the last 2 weeks. McCaffrey opens them up. Teams see what they're able to do, and it's lights out. So they've got to change some things, because I don't trust them as far as I can throw them right now. We had high hopes on this mob, and they have shat the bed, to be honest. So I don't like what I'm seeing. Clearly, you know how frustrated I am. I'm about to have to run down Hoddle Street on a Friday, and welcome back, everybody, in a really, really nice way. So I'm really very much looking forward to it, and thank you, Bijan.
Are you going to get down? When are you going to get down and get in the nud, mate? We're all pretty keen to get some cameras down at Hoddle.
So I'll probably have to wait for you to get back, son, to get me going. So, it's,
mate, well,
I can't believe, I'm just shocked. Not even, and the fact that they weren't even close. I mean, I think he had 25 yards rushing and he wasn't even close, and you put Algier in, and you know how I feel about that. It's tiring. He's the best running back in the league, bar maybe Jonathan Taylor right now. I don't get it. So, I don't know. Maybe Kirk Cousins just doing his own thing. I'm not too sure. But Atlanta have got some questions to ask themselves if they want to be back to where they thought we were 2 weeks ago. So they better get their shit into gear very quickly.
It did hurt Drake London pulling out, an hour before the game. I thought this is going to be good for Pitts. But then it was always going to be harder for Bijan. Like, they can stack the box. So that hurt a little bit. Mooney can't play like London, and Kirk Cousins as well. Like, you know he can't use his legs. So it was a disaster from the outset for me and you, considering we both thought that they would smack the Dolphins. But hey, credit to the Dolphins. They really fought back. I'm interested to see how they go this week. We're going to be at the game, obviously. Derrick Henry and the run game from the Ravens looks like it's back. They got Mitchell, he's flying. They got Justice Hill if they want as well. Lamar's going to be playing, so let's see how they go against the Ravens, because if they do really well against the Ravens run, then I reckon you've got to stop thinking about them as the 31st, because sometimes teams, they fix their weaknesses, and to their credit, I mean, Judkins last week, as we said, with the ladder bet, he had a 43-yard touchdown or something like it, but he didn't get anywhere near it after that, and he had about 24 carries. So the last 2 weeks, they're definitely not the 31st run D. They've actually been really good. Anyway, we don't want to talk about Atlanta for any longer. It was an absolute huge performance. Let's just break down Monday Night Football, mate. The Aces same-game multi goes down by one leg. A Xavier Worthy touchdown. I mean, we probably should have went Rashee Rice, but we went Kelsey, and we've just missed out. I mean, it was a terrible game to watch. The primetime games since I've been in America have been horrific. We need a spark, and I'm hoping the Ravens can do that. They can light the Dolphins up Thursday night. What do you reckon?
You'll be excited for your Thursday night, because getting Lamar Jackson back, I think, will be perfect. So it is set up beautifully for you. The sunny weather in Miami that I'm hoping you're going to get, and a Baltimore Ravens win. So I think you'll be okay there. But you're right. Washington without Daniels is just, it's so different. The teams are able to get after the quarterback a little bit more. And Mariota, he uses his leg, but it's not to the ability of obviously what Daniels can do. And Terry was back out there, and Debo, but it's going to be very, very hard. And that Chiefs defense is really up there, in your top 5 in the league right now, and they're so hard to beat. They've only given up 24 points in the last 3 weeks. Just flat out incredible. And I know we keep mentioning Mahomes and the way he does it. He started a bit scratchy, but he got himself together pretty quickly. It has opened up completely for Travis Kelce since Rice has got back. We know how good Rice is. Worthy probably is taking a little bit of a hit because of that, but their offense is rolling right now. And when you've got Kelsey doing what he's been doing the last couple of weeks and Rashee Rice back to his best, it's going to be very, very hard to beat, and we saw that. We should have probably gone with the Rice Tutty, but we're definitely on the right track with how it's all going for the Chiefs right now.
I don't know about you, but when I'm picking the touchdown scorers, traditionally, and this is the last 5 years, I reckon, if you're scoring tuds every week, you just think the next week they're probably not going to score. But you're seeing Dallas Goedert and Rashee Rice, Pittman from Colts, like they just consistently scoring. It's crazy. I thought, Alec Pierce, he was one of my multis I just lost on. Oh, yeah, I got the deep ball, but and then I thought with even with the Broncos, I thought it was Mims' chance. He did have the deep ball, but it was pass interference, and they run it in with the young fella. That's 3, but. It's just, at the moment, the touchdowns have been very consistent. Like, if you're backing the same people every week, they're kind of scoring. And, Rashee Rice, I mean, he might score every week the way Mahomes and the Chiefs are going because they just feed him. He's just so good. Even they had that Wildcat and run it in, he's just short, but they've got plays for everything. So, mate, it's scary what the Chiefs are doing, and I think if you're Denver and the Chargers, you just got to keep winning because you are ahead. And if you do play the Chiefs later in the year, if one of them can beat them, then the Chiefs might not win that division. But the way they're playing, that offense and defense is stacked. I mean, Mahomes he threw 2 picks in the first quarter on his first 2 drives. He hasn't done that, I don't think, ever, or someone maybe in his first. I don't think he's ever done it. So to then go and win by 21 points, like. It just shows you how good the Chiefs are. Anyway, we won't bore everyone by talking about Washington. Terry McLaurin, he joins my fantasy waivers, I think, this week. I'm going to have to drop him because he's just done I think he's re-injured his quad again. It's frustrating, Sip. You got these superstars that just can't get their bodies right. Debo, talk to everyone about your scenario.
Oh, I'm about done, to be honest. It's been a rough week. We had a few players out for the bye, and we didn't think we were going to have a chance really to be able to just get it done. We had a few guys out there. We thought we're just going to have to take another L and see what happens. But Cook got us back in business. He had an absolute monster game against the Panthers, and all of a sudden we're back in contention. Drake May put on an absolute show, and we thought, hang on, we're a shot here. So myself and Jack Inovan had to get ourselves together and try and get an extra player on board. But unfortunately, the other guy on our bench had already played his game, and we weren't able to drop him. So we were only able to get 1 spot instead of 2, and we're relying on Deebo Samuel to get the job done tonight. And unfortunately, he didn't. So guess what? We had another bad beat, and we went down by 2 points.
Let's paint the picture. You needed 3 points from Deebo Samuel, and his first play, it's hit him in the head, and he's got to turn into a pick. And then I don't think he did anything. He had a couple of jet sweeps that went for negative yards, but he was horrific. And in a game where they're trailing, I think Mariota threw 214 passing yards, and he had about 10 of them. So, that's another stinker for you. Deebo, man, He's not the same player this year, that's for sure. Anyway, let's keep moving. I've got a hit list here for us to go through. Let's start off with the Aces 2-minute drill. I'm going to pepper you. Thanks to everyone that got involved. Let's start it off. Ready, Sip? Quick fire. This one's from Jackie Alum. Ravens are going to win the division.
No.
That's a disgrace. Ollie Holt. Giants would win the NFC East with a healthy squad.
No, I disagree.
Mick Dade, nudie runs.
You're welcome.
Tice Rapia, hope that's how you say it. Bills are a false economy. Too much reliance on Cook and Allen rushing.
Maybe, but if that's going to win you games, then let's keep going to it. That's the way most teams are. If you've got guys that are on fire, give them the ball and let them do their thing. So, maybe that's the case, but if you win games, let's go.
Tommy Hofert, Ravens or Patriots for the next 3 years? Who are you taking?
Oh, gee, that's a good one. I still like the Ravens. Let's think about it. Lamar's still 26, 27. He's all right. I still like the Ravens.
Tyler Hinbrain, Bo Nix will win a Super Bowl MVP.
I won't deny that. They get themselves there. He's within every chance to do it, so no doubt.
Source Waters, Tucker Kraft, top 5 tight end this year. Book it.
Yeah, he's been elite. He's Jordan Love's guy. He's been absolutely on fire. I think he definitely is a top 5 tight end.
Morgs. Seattle can win the Super Bowl 5-2. They're 3-0 away, playing Commanders on Sunday Night Football off a bye.
Is this the Morgs that's maybe right behind
that's
you?
Morgs on the left here, actually. And Morgs, I'm trying to work out what the fuck you wrote here. You wrote 5-2, and they're 3-0 away. It makes complete sense, but it was a bit of a tongue twister for the train. It's very hungover. Nashville has got the better of me. It's 11 o'clock for anyone out there listening to the podcast or watching. And I have been living on Broadway, and we are recording a podcast very late, and I'm very hungover, and I've been done dirty by Worthy. It's actually my birthday, I think, in Australia, but we're going to celebrate it in Miami. I said, boys, I'm not drinking for a couple of days. I need a spell. Let's do a podcast at midnight instead. So Commanders on Sunday Night Football off a bye. Well, Morgs, I think they are a contender. Super Bowl, maybe a bit too much of a stretch. Lick Build, Daniel Jones MVP.
Oh no, I won't go that far. He's playing some good ball, but I reckon his running back's probably got him covered.
And we're going to talk about that later. 100K Sports. If Bryce Young could wear stilts, he'd be generally good. I reckon he's been pretty good. The 100K Sports a bit stiff there on Bryce.
I reckon he's pretty handy anyway, but I guess any quarterback that can get to 6'5" is going to be, pretty handy too, I guess. Yeah, very funny.
Two more. Dylan James, Falcons suck.
Couldn't agree more. Love it.
Jake Andrews, Jets winning their next 9 and making the playoffs. Oh, wow. It was good to see, though. It was good to see. All right. Thank you to everyone from the Aces that gets in. We love getting you involved in the conversation. And if you haven't, then make sure you get on Instagram next week and you get involved. Righto, preview show. Let's review a couple other things. Ravens, are they back in town, Sip? I'll start off. I think their defense has lifted the last 2 weeks. They've really turned it around. I reckon they're back. And now you put Lamar Jackson under center. I'm pretty excited about what they're going to do. They've got a really easy schedule coming up. I expect them to win the next 5. And it was just a beautiful scene. It was just beautiful seeing Pittsburgh and the Bengals get beat by the Jets. And then also the Browns get smacked. I just thought, this is amazing. What a week. What a week it's been since I was in, I think where was I the other week? I was in Spain cheering on the Bengals to beat the Steelers, and they got it done. So I think the Ravens are back. But what do you think?
I think they're back. I definitely think they're back. Getting Roquan Smith for part of that defense is game-changing. He sets them up beautifully. They're getting a couple of guys back on the D line that can rush the quarterback. They are coming, definitely. It's going to be tough to win the division. I still think it will be tough. I'm not saying they can't do it. But they do. If they can get themselves going, as you said, with the next 5 games that they've got coming up, can really make a statement. That division is going to be on, and it sets up beautifully for them on Thursday night against the Dolphins. I know you mentioned about the Dolphins' defense maybe starting to come back, but Henry and Lamar, I think, embarrass them. I'm not willing to put anything on it this time round, but I think that they embarrass them and get it back to what they need to.
You might as well go double or nothing or something so the big stop-loss isn't running down Hoddle St.
Maybe I'll put in Henry for 100 and just let it go. I don't know. But I like their next kind of 4 or 5 games, and I think it gets them right back into it for sure.
Yep, love it. Let's stay in the division. Myles Garrett, he's carrying on like a pork chop. He's had 5 sacks in a game. They've been beaten by, I think, over 2 touchdowns. But he signed the monster deal, Sip. He signed the monster deal. He got paid. What did you expect? You had no quarterback. You've taken 2 rookie quarterbacks in the draft. You got no offense, but you've got defense, and you're getting smacked. Now he's coming out and he's carrying on a little bit. Like, I love him. I think he's a superstar. But what do these blokes think? Like, you take 50 mil off the table, or whatever he's taken. It's one of the largest contracts. So there's no money for anyone else. And then they wonder why they can't win. It's just crazy how they go off in the media and say all the things they do and carry on like pork chops. I sometimes think, well, would you rather have half your pay packet and go win than you shouldn't have signed the deal? What do you think?
Oh, it's a tough one for him. Like, he signed that deal probably a couple of years ago now. Like, he's probably
but there was talks of him getting traded in the off season, and he didn't.
Yeah, no doubt. I understand that.
Didn't he just sign the deal? I'm pretty sure he just signed it.
Yeah, well, if that's the case, then obviously he's got nothing to complain about. You know the situation that you were going to be into, and that's all there is to it. So, no other team's going to probably take on your contract, mate, to be honest, because you've wanted to be the highest paid defensive end in the league or defensive player in the league. And, you're right. The situation that they've got themselves into or got himself into, he was well aware. I'm not quite unsure of where he's getting at and what he's trying to do. But you knew the situation that was occurring for you, mate. So you're going to take it on the chin and just accept what's going to be happening going forward.
I tell you what, I wouldn't take on the chin is the Steelers throwback jersey from 1933 that they were rolling out on Sunday Night Football, the Aaron Rodgers revenge game. I mean, gee, that is the stinky. I told you I would use their kit as toilet paper, but I wouldn't even wipe my ass with that. That was the worst outfit I have ever seen a team in the National Football League wear on television. It was, how ugly was that? I mean, all the throwbacks are elite. We all purchased the one from the Chargers the other day. Saw the Broncos jersey this week. That was one of my favourites. And then the Steelers are running out with, I don't even know how to describe it, Sip, but they weren't winning in that outfit. We should have had the house on Green Bay at $1.64. But that was a clinical performance. Let's stay there. Jordan Love, he is the real deal. I love the way he throws the ball. He reminds me of, when we both used to play AFL, you played NFL, but when you used to do lane work and some blokes just, they take the flight, they take the weight off the ball, then there's the blokes that just pepper it. Well, he's the kind of guy that, I probably compare him to Caleb Williams as the opposite. Like Caleb, he pegs that ball so hard. I mean, good luck catching it, where I feel like Jordan Love takes the weight off it and just allows his wide receivers and big tight ends of Tucker Kraft just to catch it and go down the field. He's a beautiful quarterback to watch, and I prefer him to throw it a little bit more because it's more exciting.
He's got the weapons to be able to do it, doesn't he? And I think they were able to show that, on your Sunday night. It was an excellent performance by him. He had a great matchup against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Their passing defense has been a little scratchy, even with the guys that they have picked up over the offseason. And you're right, he throws such a pretty ball. He just puts it out in front, places it beautifully, lets his guys run onto it. The deeper ball, even out the back, is beautiful. And Tucker Kraft is just embracing it all, and he's been on fire too. But I love what Jordan's doing right now. I think they're a genuine threat in the NFC if they can keep this form up, and they're running hot right now. Their defense is still pretty solid. They'll continue to redefine things and get things going, and it's good to see Jordan Love doing his thing without Josh Jacobs really having much of effect on the game. I know he still got his touchdown, but he only rushed for 40 yards, and when you're able to do that, it's going to be tough each week for teams to analyse and look over, because who do you stop? Is it Jordan Love or is it Josh Jacobs? And you're going to have difficult times doing that. So it was great to see. They put on a great performance against the Honeybees. Sorry, I mean the Steelers, and they were back in good touch. So.
And then they even gave him a head start, the Honeybees, and they said, "Well, just smack you by 10." I think Rodgers got a late touchdown as well. It's just beautiful to see when the Steelers get pumped. Let's just go to the team that you like to see get pumped, which is the Giants. But I want to start with the injuries. The Scat Man, that hurt. I mean, he's been so exciting. Him and his rookie quarterback in Dart, they're 2-6, which season kind of over. But if they had won that game, you kind of think it's wide open. But now you're starting to think they're in a lot of strife. They've got so many injuries. Their defense is stacked, but they'll be really good next year. But they've lost so many playmakers. So fingers crossed he goes all right in recovery and he's back soon. And when I say soon, next year, but really healthy, because his ankle was, it was facing right angles. It's hard to see. And the other one was Barkley. He busted a big run, but it looked like a hammy. They said groin on the TV today behind me when I was just watching a little bit of ESPN. But that one's one to, they've got the bye coming up, but just one to monitor, Sit, because soft tissues, that's, if they lose him, it's, Tank Bigsby has been a great pickup that people probably question, saying, why would you pick him up and just stash him and do nothing, waste his career? Well, he might become a really important player for the Eagles in the postseason. So watch this space. I think it's only minor because Saquon kind of just still ran it out and pulled up. But, yeah, those soft tissues, you don't want them. And, again, we mentioned it earlier, but Terry McLaurin looks like he's re-injured himself. I don't know. I couldn't hear because they had the baseball on World Series at the pub that we're at down there in Broadway in Nashville. But yeah, that was, to see him not come back into the game, that's not great either. There's a few other injuries, but I'll keep moving. I just want to talk about the Giants and the Eagles. Clinical performance, but the Eagles are 3 games clear in the division. Are they having a bit of a sneaky season? I think me and you speak about them a lot, but besides from the week that we really wanted AJ Brown legacy game, they've been pretty good.
No, they have been pretty good. They had those couple of weeks where they got found out a little bit. Their game wasn't quite going. Defense kind of stood up against them, and obviously a couple of key parts that they probably had out at the time too. And they're starting to get themselves healthy. Obviously, AJ was out on the weekend, but if you have Devontae Smith continuing to do what he does, I think that's certainly going to help you going forward. And I think probably the more disappointing thing really in the end is how the Commanders have gone about their business. I mean, we really expected them to challenge this year, and it hasn't been the case. The Cowboys have been a little bit of a surprise in a way, but again, we knew all along it was going to be their offense that's going to keep them into games because the defense was going to struggle, and we saw that on the weekend just gone. But they're a good team, the Eagles. They're well drilled. They know what they need to do. They've got a couple of big games coming up, so we'll really see where they're at going forward. But if they can come over, get the job done over those teams there in the next kind of few weeks after the bye, they are setting themselves up really, really nicely again to win the division and get some home finals and see what happens from there.
Let's talk about injuries and what I think brown bread. The Niners are so banged up at key positions, mate. I watched CJ Stroud for the first time in probably his career get time in the pocket. And to be fair, someone was talking about him last week. Is he washed? Is he actually going to be any good? I was like, I think you need to get an O-line in this league. If you don't have an O-line, you're just no good. Look at Daniel Jones. Like, he's got the best O-line, and he looks like an MVP. But last year, he was so bad at the Giants. And the difference is just a little bit of time. So you can scan the field. You've got a couple more options. Clearly, you need some playmakers. Like having a Jonathan Taylor helps. But he's always had a great running back behind him, Jones. But CJ Stroud had so much time. And the Niners, they've got nothing on that defensive end anymore. And their offense, it's pretty hard to get going when you're playing from behind, when you need to lean on McCaffrey for everything, and their wide receiver room's so banged up. I think they're cooked. I think they're absolutely cooked. They've done an amazing job to get to where they are. They've won games where I don't know how, but the fact that they beat the Atlanta Falcons the way they did the other week just tells me how bad the Falcons are, because Houston aren't going that well, and it was pretty clinical what they did. They didn't smack them. They were still in the game, the Niners, but I just think panic stations if I'm a Niners fan, just due to injuries. You've just got way too many injuries and to key playmakers. So that's one to watch. Even though they're still going all right, I just personally think you can put a line through it. What do you think?
Oh, look, I think that it's hard to maintain that, isn't it, for a whole season? I mean, you can get away with it maybe for the first 6 weeks while teams are trying to adjust, and you've got a great head coach that's a very, very smart man and knows what he is doing, so you probably can get away with it. But, as the season goes on and you don't have those key players, it is going to make it very, very tough for them to be able to continue. And their division is strong. The Seahawks are on fire. The Rams are playing well. They've got out to a good start. I can agree with you in some way that, that they're all banged up and everything's occurring there. But I also think maybe Houston for the first time looked like they weren't predictable. When you don't have Nico Collins, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, where does he go to? Where do they go? Defenses actually find it hard to be able to go, oh, well, where's he going to go? What's his option? So you can't double anyone. Obviously, clearly got those young fellas that are great route runners. And as you said, when you give CJ time in the pocket, he will execute. And you need that in the NFL. It's an absolute given. If you don't have that, your quarterback is useless. You can pay a guy $300 million, over a 5-6 year period. If he doesn't have the O-line to be able to support him, well, then good luck. And we're able to see that, as you said, they're banged up a little bit, San Fran. But I'm not going to put a line through them just yet. I think Purdy's close to being back. Kittle will get back into touch. They'll pick up some couple of players again on defense, particularly in the secondary. So I'm not willing to do it just yet because They somehow find a way. They need them back quickly, but they somehow find a way to get it done. So I won't put a line through them just yet, but they certainly need to get some key players back, which is going to be a bit of a bone-crunching time for them over the next few weeks.
Well, I like that you haven't put a line through them yet. I'm putting a line through the Niners. Their season is done, Sip. You can mark my words. Don't worry about the record. What I watched on the weekend, they are cooked. All right, it was good to see the Jets win. I don't want to talk about Jets for too long, but that game was disrespected at the DraftKings Sports Social place that we were at the bar. We had every game on the screen except for the Jets and Bengals game, so you had to kind of walk around the corner. They had it on another screen, but it wasn't on the main screen. And before you know it, I was thinking, geez, I wish I had a same gamer in that one because I didn't. The scoreline just had everything, and Breece Hall finally got going. He's hadn't scored all year. Finally got some tuds, but I was just happy for Justin Fields. I think he opened up after the game about how he broke down. And, you know, Woody Johnson, he said some rough things about him last week. We're having a bit of a laugh on the preview show saying he's not going to start again because we thought Tyrod Taylor was all right. But sure enough, he starts the next week and then has an unbelievable comeback, 15 down in the start of the fourth. And it's one of the best wins they've had in a long time with some sad news to one of their great centers that passed away. You know, it was a big day for the Jets and for Justin Fields to get that win under his belt. I just felt it was just great. You know, it was great for Aaron Glenn, great for the Jets fans. We saw that kid last week getting interviewed, just pretty much just spraying his family for having him as a kid and welcoming him to his team without him having a choice. But yeah, that was something I wanted to talk about. That Jets win was great, and for them to put up, I know it's only the Bengals defense. It's probably just as good as the Dallas Cowboys, but to get the win and to put up points on offense without Garrett Wilson and, you know, to be honest, without any wide receivers at all, it's bloody good effort. So hats off. I tip my hat. Zip, I tip my hat freshly off the Nashville Broadway streets to Justin Fields in that offense. I've got a couple other things. I want to talk about the Colts. They're 7-1. How well are they going? I've looked at who they've played. The Rams, I think the Rams got them. Because of the, Mitchell, who's been sacked since, I don't think he's had a snap when they fumbled on the goal line. But the other games they played, they haven't really played anyone of note. Maybe a couple, but they haven't played a top-tier team yet. So how well are they actually going, Sip? I'll leave it with you.
Well, I find it interesting. Like the Broncos, they did play and they got them over got over the line with a field goal to win the game, and the Broncos are winning their division, so we can't sell them too short, but. They're going to come up against some teams over the next few weeks that it's going to really test them and see where they're at well and truly. I think they're more than capable. I think they have a system right now that is working beautifully. O-line is on absolute fire, playing their roles. Jones has got the weapons that he needs, that he can go to at any time. And Jonathan Taylor right now is arguably the MVP of the competition. I'm very, very happy to say that. He's had 12 touchdowns or so, and he's just absolutely on fire, running the ball like there is no tomorrow. And to go along with it, their defense is playing some complementary football. All well and good. The opposition, I know they played the Titans on the weekend. They've had some other ones, but I still think they're more than capable of being right up there this year. No doubt, as I said, the next few weeks are going to be big. They've got some really tough matchups. They can deliver in those ones and come out the other side with some victories. Well, we're going to have to start really putting them up there in the conversation that they're a genuine Super Bowl contender.
Some of the stats from Jonathan Taylor, he's had 4 games of 3 touchdowns. It's only been 8 weeks. We're going into week 9 coming up, but he's had, if you've picked him up in fantasy, I looked at our league, I was like, so the D's boys, Maisie, Hibbo, well, they're not the D's boys anymore, actually, because a couple of them just got, Clary just went to the Giants. But I looked at who they've got. They have Tucker Kraft and Jonathan Taylor, and that's why they keep winning. I think they put up like 70, just those two combined, plus the Bills' defense. So, mate, massive, massive week for them. And Jonathan Taylor, that O-line, a lot of people would have slept on him. I certainly did when it was draft time. We all thought Bijan and Gibbs. But JT's been enormous, and like you said, if you compare it to Saquon, I think he's on track for like 2,226 yards and 28 touchdowns. which is just absurd. So let's just monitor that. Let's see who can stop him. It'd be fascinating, but at the moment they can't. No one can stop anything from the Colts. They have so many options. Pittman's flying. He hasn't this is the first week where I felt like they peppered him. He's just been kind of coasting because JT's been doing it all. But yeah, I'm glad you mentioned the MVP. I'd love to see a running back win the award instead of a quarterback, because at the moment, Mahomes is dominating, but I can't say that there's a quarterback that's really got it, by the plums, you know what I mean? Like Josh Allen's had a couple of how you going weeks. Baker Mayfield hasn't got going the last two. So you could argue that this award could go somewhere else. I'd love to see Jonathan Taylor get it. But we need to do it for another few weeks, mate. As you know, he'll almost need to put up 24 tuds and 2,000 yards to get himself right up there. Because if Saquon couldn't do it last year, then good luck to you. Anyway, we keep moving. I just want to get the injury list up, because I didn't touch on a few, but Pat Surtain, obviously one of the best cornerbacks, defensive player of the year, he's on injured reserve due to a pectoral injury. Now, that's not good, and he's going to be a player that they're going to miss because he locks that wide receiver one up. So whoever Denver play in the next few weeks, let's make sure we talk about who the wide receiver one is, because they're not going to have that matchup. So you might be able to see games where, Broncos games might be like Dallas, where their defense is still very good. We can see how many sacks they've got, but they can allow teams to score a little bit without maybe him. So I'm looking forward to that one, because I love seeing Denver because they score so many points. But him on defense out is just massive. Carson Wentz, no wonder he's throwing pies. He's getting shoulder surgery. He's done. He's got shoulder surgery. He's out for the year. I don't even know if it's the actual shoulder that he's throwing, but he looked in a lot of pain. I could actually see with my own eyes him limping off a few times in a lot of pain. I heard a rumour down here that Kirk Cousins might get traded to Minnesota. So I wonder if that's still going to happen. Obviously, the deadline's the 4th of November. Some more breaking news from the Bills, but their DT, Ed Oliver, tore his bicep, and he might be sidelined indefinitely. So that's massive for the Bills. He's a big player on their defense. And the last one is just that the Titans have traded their cornerback in Roger McCreary to the Rams. So the Rams get a little bit more defense, and you can expect, I think, Colts, Rams, all these kind of teams, Dallas are trying to do it just to load up while they're kind of in a window. And a bit like what you said last week, Giants had to win for that, so you can't see them trading too much now. They're just going to have to get by with what they've got. But yeah, trade. It's going to be interesting. The deadline being the 4th. There's a week to go. We just saw Lockett's just gone, and he's back with his old coach and quarterback there from Seattle. So it's going to be a lot of news coming up. But I thought I'd just weasel that into this week's review show. Sip, there's not a lot more that I've got for you, except for I had some people reach out to us about waivers, and I thought, well, we should give some fantasy tips to people out there. I'll start. Anyone out there playing fantasy that's really struggling, I'd look at 2 players, and I'll start with Tank Bigsby from Philly. I think he could be someone that could fill a running back role. It's really hard to find a good running back, and if you're if you're just scraping in the finals or you're going well, I think it's worth using a fair bit of FARB on him, especially if Saquon was to go down. Eagles are flying. We know their run game's everything. And he had 100 yards off. I don't think he had more than 5. He might have had 5 carries for 100 yards. So to put up numbers like that, I reckon he's someone that you really want to consider on the waivers this week. And the other one is Tyrone Tracy with the scat man out. I know Singletary's there, but Tracy was someone that was like a bit of a bell cow until they drafted the scat man. So he's someone that I think can really help you. He's got I looked at his strength of schedule and thought, is it worth it? Because I'm obviously considering it. He gets San Fran, so he'll dominate next week. He gets Chicago. They've allowed a fair few rushing yards, but then he gets some really bad matchups. He gets Green Bay, Detroit, and New England. 3 horrific matchups. So I think short term, I think he can win you the next 2 weeks potentially if you pick up Tracy. But other than that, mate, I don't have a lot for you from other positions. Do you have anyone else that we should keep our eye on?
No, they're the 2 that clearly stood out to me as well. The Tracy one will be interesting because, as you said, being that Singletary Maybe 1-2 punch, maybe some even spread. But they are definitely the two that you need to be looking out for pretty quickly. The other one for me is also Christian Watson from the Green Bay Packers. He obviously came back from the PUP list. He played on the weekend. He got some targets, and he's a very, very important part to that Green Bay offense. So he's the other one I'd be looking out for a wide receiver perspective if you need one, because I think he will continue to get more game time. Jordan Love is a big fan of his. They have had a great connection over the last few years before, obviously, his big injury. So that's the other one to look out for as well.
Tell you what, mate, we haven't done the ban list for a while, but I'm going to give you one. Matthew Golden is officially done to me. I've wasted so much cash on him. He was actually wide open. I saw he deleted his own Instagram. He's had enough of the messages, obviously. I'm not a scumbag that's going to write messages to him on Instagram, even though I thought about it. I'm only joking. And I just can't believe how much talent he's got and how they're not finding him. I mean, Stephon Diggs, he finally got me a touchdown. It was great to see George Kittle scored. I'll talk about James Cook next. We thought he would explode. Bijan Robinson obviously let us down. We were all over it. Mims was quiet, but he had the deep ball that I expected, but it was pass interference, so that was a 45-yard bomb that we got called back. I mean, Bo Nix is dealing it to everyone but Mims and Cortland Sutton. Everything was going off, but yeah, like I said to you at the start, that's me take right there.
I'm not surprised. You've been talking about Golden for the last month, and
mate, it's killing me. You put him on the radar at the start of the year, and I have had him for a touchdown. And the other one, Cade Otton. I mean, he got this close, close to finalising our tight end multi, I think, and we needed to combine for 3. Oh my God! And he was short, but he just can't. I mean, their offense didn't have to do anything. Their defense scored all their points. That's how bad the Saints are going. Don't get me started on how huge that organisation is. I think I'd go Giants over them for the next 20 years. The Saints are cooked, I reckon. And if you've got Kamara in fantasy, well, you should trade him away, because I don't think he's ever going to score a touchdown with Taysom Hill there, the Swiss Army knife. It's just a disaster if you've got Saints players in fantasy, Sip. A little bit of a rant there from me. I don't even have Kamara in me fantasy. I just sick of seeing the Saints not score. Like 3 points for a game is just pathetic. They have a quarterback change. I don't know why. The new quarterback was horrific. Anyway, it was a weird week. I read it was the worst week on the slate since 1970. I think it was one team won by less than double figures. And I think that was the Jets. Everything else was just blowouts. So we're going to have to get some even games hopefully next week. But, mate, that's all I've got for you.
There's some good ones coming up, which we'll talk about in our preview show later in the week. That we're excited for that. But you're right, it was definitely a one-sided affair for the first time in a long time. So hopefully we'll get some quality over the next week. But some good stuff there to be able to review, and hope everybody appreciates it.
We will, mate. And lastly, James Cook, you're all welcome. I told you they're going to pound the rock, mate. I think his line was like 76. He's gone for 218 rushing yards and 2 tuds, and they rested their first players with about 8 minutes to go. They were flying. Their run game was back. And I think it's a lesson. Like, if you're an offensive coordinator, just keep it simple. Keep it simple. So hopefully the Atlanta Falcons offensive coordinator is listening to the Aces NFL show Week 8 review, Sip. Give the man the ball. Give the man the ball every opportunity you got. It's sickening seeing these offensive coordinators cook up plays that just aren't there. Anyway, James Cook and the Bills, they got it done because they kept the game plan simple and they run it down their guts, and they got play action off the back of it and some big plays. Shakir had a big touchdown, yards after catch, but they look really good, and they look really good when they run the ball. So if you've got James Cook, you'd be very happy with last week, but I think that's going to be the recipe for them moving forward. We haven't spoken about the Patriots. I know I keep saying I'm wrapping this up, but I just think Drake May and Jordan Love, Patriots fans and Green Bay Packers fans, you are so lucky. Like, you lose Brady, and then you get May. I know they had a few years there where they had Mac Jones and a bit, but that's only a little bit of pain. So you've got yourself a franchise quarterback, and then you go to the Packers. You've had 3 quarterbacks in however long. They're kissed on the old fella, as we like to say, Sip.
They certainly are. They do well in that quarterback situation. They're going to have three guys over 40-year period or something like that. The amount of teams that have gone through a 40-year period having less than five you'd be hard to find. So they've done incredibly well, and I'm really liking what I'm seeing from the Patriots there. I know they've got Diggs and they've got Mac Hollins there as a little bit of experience, but overall they've got a young group, a young core group that hopefully can stay together for a long period of time, because what they're starting to do is really, really special. And when you get Mike Vrabel as your head coach, who we know has had overall success in the league as a coach, it's a great recipe to be able to have. And maybe they're another team that hasn't quite maybe played the tough teams yet. You know, they had the Browns obviously, and then the Titans and that, but they're still doing something really, really good, and they'll be tested again going into the second part of the year. They keep it going. They're going to be right up there, and it's going to be interesting to see how that AFC East unfolds.
Well, you couldn't have said it any better. This is the review show, Sip, and I'm going to remind everyone again, the Niners are cooked. The Pittsburgh Steelers, their season will end like the jerseys they rocked last week. That's how it'll be. It'll be ugly. The Ravens will win the division. And if Bijan Robinson doesn't get 20 goes at the pill next week, whether that's a catch or a rush, then that offensive coordinator might need to look in the mirror. I said Mike McDaniels would get the arse. Well, I think he might be the next one on the chopping block. But it was, as I said, they need to fix the offense there. It's been cooked for a while in terms of consistency. And I think that's all we've got. But, mate, big week ahead. I think we're going to talk... We'll talk about when we do our next show. I think we won't speak to all our, everyone that's wondering what we're going to do with the preview. I think it might be after the Thursday night game, Sip. Yep. We're going to go to that game. I think we get back and we review that one and then preview the rest of the games. But if it's not that, then maybe it's Saturday morning your time and Friday our time. We'll work it out. But I think Thursday night football, I couldn't be more excited. I think it's the first Ravens game I'm going to see live with my own eyes. And it's the fact that we've got the 31st worst run D in the league coming up against a running attack. And I thought Mitchell is someone that maybe we put a little special on, because what he was doing, I don't think defenses know what they're going to do when he's out there, and he can just explode. But he looked great. So I'm stoked with what the Ravens have got cooking when Lamar comes back. It's going to be exciting, mate. I'm very excited. You stop Waddle, it should be a blowout.
Yeah, no, I agree. As I said, I like what they're doing, and if they can bring it back, it's going to be on for young and old for the Baltimore Ravens. So big Thursday night, and I hope you enjoy it.
Beautiful, mate. Beautiful. Well, to everyone that tunes into the pod, we appreciate you. Had a few people reach out about Nashville recommendations. I'm going to do a little social clip. We're going to do it on the pod. Top 4 things to do in Nashville. But as I said, that sports bar I went to yesterday, DraftKings Sports Social Bar, it was one of the coolest bars in Nashville you can go to. We went to the Barstool one up the road, but we felt like that one was a way better experience for NFL Sundays. And even tonight, I mean, Monday Night Football, we had NBA on every screen. We had the Major League Baseball on. It was just so much going on. You order yourself the best wings, and it's just 3 hours of heaven. On Sundays, it's like 9. So that's the number one thing you want to do. But I'll get the other list out later, Sip. And to everyone that's tuned in and heading there, for a holiday, we'll make sure we've got a little hit list for you. Top 5 things to do in Nashville. It's one of the coolest places I've ever been to, and I'll definitely be coming back. But, mate, that's all we've got. Thanks for your time. Appreciate it. To everyone that listens, we appreciate you. Share it onto your mate that loves their NFL. And, keep the feedback coming for this review show. It's new. Let us know what you want us to add or leave out. Otherwise, we'll see you very soon as we preview Week 9. Sip, can you believe it? We're nearly halfway.
Nuts. Halfway after this week, going to be a big one. So it's only going to get bigger from here. So let's go.
It's like tackling a block of cheese.
Fire up your NFL season with PointsBet. Now with NFL Bet Tracker. Bet on NFL markets like passing yards or receptions and follow them live in the PointsBet app. Yeah, that's built different. Imagine what you could be buying instead.